Excuse me for the short interruption there. The video continues here. I remember having written something on that topic and of course having spoken about it alongside. To the chagrin of those using sense, some of our folks even went to the extent of saying, in quotes, "Isa, don't remind him or teach him how to register these parties, because he may not even have that in mind." I chuckled after hearing that verse. Let me tackle both the former and the latter by saying this, in quotes. I, Isa Bokarsi, will never use hypotheses to diagnose or analyze issues that are dropping or dripping from Yahya Jammeh's office. What I use are facts, references from his own files, intelligence, and above all matters that affect national interest. My ultimate goal is to make sure that he is exposed beyond redemption, therefore set a stage where no one will try being another Yahya Jammeh on Gambians again, now and in the future. We must use the work of today to build the image of tomorrow, or to build the structure of tomorrow. Tomorrow is the residence of our children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. We Gambians must bear that in mind, that tomorrow is the residence of our children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. If you study history in any of these countries in the Western Hemisphere and other parts of Africa or other parts of the world, you hear names of people whose images are still left on currencies and other monuments, but those very people are no longer here. Why are they revered and being remembered and will never be forgotten? It's not about how they looked like. It's about what they did and said, particularly what they did for their people and for themselves. Do we want them to remain homeless, I mean our future generation, and hopeless when we have all the material at our disposal to build them a good place? Only a negligent and heartless parent will side with the contrary. Like I have been saying it, I am propelled or motivated by a person while being guided by principle. My person is not attached to the emotional side of things. It derives its source from civic education and exigency of national duty, period. That is not anything somebody should be praised for or commended for where national interest is affected. It is one's civic duty, and it is what logic, sense, sensibility would recognize as the true meaning of patriotism. Patriotism is not a song, it is a principle. Patriotism is not a uniform, it is a soul. And patriotism is not a cake to be frozen in one single person's chamber. It is the ration that feeds every soul in a nation. That said, let me tell those who believe in elections under Yahya Jammeh that Karayol is building a case, and the whole world will see very soon that I'll be vindicated again, inshallah. He does not mean anything in what he is saying. Neither is he the one speaking. It is Yahya Jammeh. Yahya has the remote control and will be flipping the channels as he likes it. Introducing tokens in place of marbles is attractive an idea, but it's not attractive as an insincere position. I will never put tongue on cheek when Yahya Jammeh comes out with his next step. I will never put tongue on cheek when Yahya Jammeh comes out with his next step. Yahya Jammeh is going to come through the IAC again with a list of justifications to register some political parties. Mark my words. This is why sometimes it's good to deter him from doing things by exposing him, and then make sure that he knows that we know what he is ready to do. I will not even quote sources. I will tell you that I heard it from Yahya Jammeh's own mouth. Wait and see. That ends this English part. for recording both on the audio side and the audio-visual side, which we will now be doing simultaneously whenever time allows us, because we are expected to be feeding our accounts on Twitter and then our account on YouTube in collaboration with the team in the office in New Jersey and our partners in Canada. Thank you very much, and I will try my best to make sure that we get a Wolof version, even if it is going to be without the video, but we'll try our best to make sure that we do this analysis. But the real meaning of this fight is to educate, is to agitate, is to sensitize, and then ultimately refuse to be remote controlled by the whims and caprices of a dictatorial regime, particularly a dictator who is suffering from diminished mental capacity in the name of Yahya Jammeh. Stand up and fight against tyranny and injustice. Do it for yourself. Do it for your nation. Do it for your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. There will come a day that if any one of you feels that this Issa Bokar C is not the person I want to see or want to hear, life is going to end. We are all going to leave this earth. What matters is 100 years from now, when we reflect, well, when the future generation reflects on our actions and speeches today, they will derive something that can benefit them the same way as Americans are proud of reflecting on the past of people like George Washington Jr., Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and others. The same way our people are proud of remembering great fighters in countries like Senegal, Galandou Diouf, Blaise Diagne. The same way great fighters in our own country, our own home. Of course, starting with other places and then landing in the Gambia shows that the ultimatum is in the Gambia. This is why people will never forget Francis Edward Small, what he did for Gambia, and other great fighters who stood up to shape matters for us. Then we call ourselves a nation today. That's why we cannot forget the past, where people like Sadauda Kairaba Jawara and his folks who stood side by side, where we had opposition parties like UP Per Njai. They all built the Gambia because they were not sitting there and saying yes to anything that the regime then was saying. That is why we will never forget what people have done during Jawara's time and now. If we did not have the PDOIS at that time as a political party opposing the government, I don't think the PPP regime would have been seen as one of the most democratic, because they were opposition members. If we didn't have the NCP and the NLP, this is why people refer back to the past of the deeds of native Nelson Madiba Mandela. This is why people remember the deeds of people like Mahatma Gandhi, Patrice Emery Lumumba, and people like our good and dear brother Amilcar Cabral, others and others, Samora Machel. This is why we remember the 1958 no of Ahmed Sekou Touré against domination, against colonial domination. Because they did something, that's why we remember them. Do something so that life will remember you tomorrow, because we will never end life. We are going to end before life ends. Our own lives end, but life itself that we are talking about doesn't end, because life is time and time is existence. When that ends, nothing is going to be left here. Make sure that you understand what you do here will shape what you are here and will shape what you will become in the hereafter. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters. Have a wonderful day or evening or night or morning, wherever you are. This is your brother Issa Bokar C.